I see myself, and I see many of them. They are sometimes the opposite of another, but somehow they are also interconnected. They are different shades of the same colors. They are the same song but in different languages. They are all complete yet still growing. So at the end of the day, who am I?
I'm a jewelry designer. I'm the chef.
I am a painter.
The cat whisperer.
And I am the dancer. I am uncomfortable. Would you mind? How does it even work? How do they work together?
I have no answer yet, but let's take a sneaky peek through my lens at them.
Hi, I'm the director. I like personal stories. I like hearing people talk. And I find it quite interesting that three of them exist at the same time, yet quite differently. I hope that this documentary would be a nice way to see them through the lenses and also study them, why there are many of them and how they can develop better, whether individually or as a group. I'm really glad that I'm on this journey with them. To tell the whole story, you need to know all of them. You need to get to know all of them first. The painter, she is a little bit shy, very timid. I find it difficult to work with her in the very beginning. She tends to avoid the cameras a lot, which is fine because a lot of people do if they don't work in front of the camera. But I can tell she's an interesting person. She has many stories to share if you get close with her. We just need a little bit push here and there to make things work. She was the first one who joined the journey in Netherlands. I find it quite surprising. Someone as shy as her would just pack up stuff and go to the other half of the planet to start a new life. But here she is in the journey with us. She's sort of the brave one, I would say. I think she has a good sense of humor. She's very observant. I can tell she's thinking what's going on in my mind with questions in her head while we talk. It can be intimidating though, wondering if she can actually read my mind. One thing I like about her is that she's very confident, but not in a threatening way. She likes to share a lot of her process, which is great because the painter doesn't really. And I like to see the process. Then you can go along with the artist's mind and then you have a better understanding of why and how things land there. She's kind of a control freak. Her words, not mine. Control freak, that's her word, not mine. But everybody tends to agree on that. She came much later in the journey, 1 year after. I mean, she was there all along, but in the beginning just observing and then opportunity showed up, then she showed up. The chef. She's definitely the talkative one, the very funny one, I think. She gets carried away a lot with her own conversations going. Always nagging about her stories back in China. So the conversations was never focused on one thing. She grows her own herbs and stuff, and she has a whole full cabinet of Chinese spices and herbs and seasoning. A cabinet full of glass jars. It's kind of like she's sort of a Chinese witch with her secret portions all over. But you can sense that she's a good witch. I sure hope so. I ate a lot of her food. Ah, spicy! written something in my phone. Is it okay if I check? Okay, thank you. I'm Tuan. I paint. I draw mostly. There was this misunderstanding between painting and drawing in the very beginning of my journey here, because in Chinese there are no two words for each. I guess it's not so important after all whether it's a drawing or a painting, right? Well, it's not really in our language. In Chinese, it's the same character. It's something like this. Ta-da! No, I will show some later, maybe. It's not ready yet. Sorry. Do I sit here? It's a small couch. Okay. No, it's fine. Suits me. I'm also small. How does my hair look in the camera? Wouldn't it be nice if there's a screen that I can actually see myself? Nah, it's fine. I look good. Hi, I'm Tuan. I do jewelry designs. My materials are mostly silver and enamel. At the moment, I'm also trying to combine softer materials or new materials with my design, but mostly it's silver and copper and enamel. I also make kinetic jewelries. It means that there are mechanical structures inside which can rotate or move. Now I'm not wearing any, but I can show you. I have so many pictures. Yeah, for example, something like this. This is something that I'm really proud of. This is the enamel, and the ring itself is silver. I work half in real life, like next to a bench, half in front of a computer with 3D modeling. I can show you more later. I like art that are wearable, that you can have bodily experience with it. It feels personal and intimate when you can feel that. It's not like watching something at a distance in a museum, but you have personal experience with it. I think that's what makes it special. I like jewelries that you can almost play like if they're toys. You can interact with them. I think when I was little, I like those necklaces you can open, like a locket, and also rings that you can just open, something will pop out, or maybe it's just a box. I like things that you can play with. It's like wearing toys, expensive toys. Well, for me, copper is a cheaper alternative, but with enamel, that adds a layer of craftsmanship on top of it. And, well, it's my painted enamel, so luxurious. I promise you I'm not so full of myself, but I can keep on talking about my work. Hi. Oh, sorry. Here?我就是喜欢做饭，主要做中餐嘛，肯定主要是正宗的中餐啊，不是那种西式中餐。主 主要是做川菜，我家乡是四川的嘛，我口味肯定觉得，按我口味来说，我觉得川菜就是最好吃的，但是也不一定，也不是所有人都喜欢，而且川菜确实比较辣，所以众口难调嘛，各有各的喜好，大部分都是很辣的食物。我觉得人就是得时不时辣的要死，要死掉才有那种活着的痛快的感觉。就像你健身的时候就感觉浑身肌肉酸痛，但第二天你就会感觉很爽一样，就是那种滋味。吃不了辣就练，一点一点的，你这个忍受辣的那个耐受度你就上来了，然后你就可以真正的体会到世间的快乐。这得练习。我们这样干说其实没什么意思，我觉得下一次咱们要在餐桌子上说，就一边吃饭一边说一边做会比较能聊得开来，或者至少要来我厨房看一下。你这是什么茶？茶包？什么茶包？下次餐桌上说，吃点好饭，喝点好茶。
Hi, I'm the painter. Welcome to my studio. Well, actually I don't have a studio now, but this is where I work mostly. I am now making a new tiny sketchbook for myself, and you're welcome to join. Unlike the jewelry designer and the chef, it seems like I don't have my comfortable way of doing things yet. Facing big empty canvas can be intimidating for me most of the time. Most works that I'm happy myself are on my sketchbook. So I'm now trying to make my own ways of working, that is, by splitting up the big canvases into smaller pieces and make my own sketchbooks. It feels more intimate this way and more safe for me. So instead of facing a canvas that's twice as my size, I can have something in my hands and work on that. I don't know why, but I think here everybody paints big. For me, the smaller size encourages a personal close-up interaction with the viewers. And also myself. Binding my own sketchbook also creates the safe bubble for me. I am with my sketchbooks most of the time. They become part of me now. It is like my visual diary. Unlike drawing or painting on canvas, I don't think about presenting them to others. I just purely enjoy the process. There are times I start doodling without thinking about anything, any plans. I completely let go the thinking part, but only doodle as a form of meditating. Getting lost in shapes and colors may be my way of embracing the unknown part. I am now making a sketchbook inside of a cigarette box. I started it almost as a joke because, yes, I am a smoker and I always carry a pack of cigarettes. And I just thought it would be a dark humor if I opened a cigarette box and find inside is actually a sketchbook. I remember studying as a painting student and everyone else is painting so big. Only myself is holding a teeny tiny sketchbook to start. I felt out of the balance in the very beginning. So instead of like everyone else is trying to get out of their comfort zone, I start building my own. And right now I'm trying to fit it in this cigarette box. Here are some sketchbooks of mine over the years. Well, not over the years, only 2 years here. Actually, since now jewelry designer is the main focus in school, I tend to paint and draw more than I used to for some unknown reason. I guess I just don't like being on the stage. I've never seen myself as a professional. There are artists like Lisa Yuskavich. She also works on smaller scale to create intimate viewing experiences, and her paintings blends the sublime with everyday. Her paintings are small but playful and contemplating. Mine, as you can see, are more dark-humored or just pure daily life. I think as a Chinese artist based in the Netherlands, I find it difficult to place myself. I can get lost in the definitions for painting or drawing or illustrations. Everything is very split up, and I was trying to find definitions of myself. And remember, I'm just one of my many selves. One of the reasons that I was struggling is because I never see myself as a full professional. Because I always start with painting, then someone else, like the jewelry designer, is gonna take my job. I do not know how to finish, but I am good at creating the starts. Maybe that's why I always start with sketchbooks, even though with difficulties of placing the sketches into a big canvas, but I still manage to keep all of these memories. One of my favorite painters, Gary Baseman, he works on big canvases, but also he draws on menus or leftover papers that he found. And mine is gonna be stuffed in this cigarette box. I am one of my many selves, probably the quiet and shy one. While jewelry designer is taking most of the spotlight at the moment, I wish I can build my comfort zone. Quietly in the shade. Hello! Welcome to my toxic dungeon. No, I'm kidding. Some tools are dangerous, but only a few are toxic, so relax. This is what I am recently working on. I enjoy the making part. Right now I'm basically preparing for the pieces that I'm going to enamel later. So now I'm sawing off the metal sheets. Jewelry making sounds like a glamorous job. It is quite the opposite, actually. In the studio it's mostly just dirty work and dust. But somehow I enjoy it. I can spend hours on the bench without walking around a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I do it anyway. I usually work with a plan. I understand a lot of artists play with the materials and see how it turns out, but to me it's quite the opposite. I usually start with a full design plan and then start working. I like to check my pieces over and over again. I understand why some people think that I'm a control freak. When I do measurements or marks on the metal sheets, I check twice, at least twice, 3 times, 4 times, even 5 times before I actually do it. I do like taking control of the working process. As I said before, I usually start with a plan and at least some ideas. So, if I already have something in my head, why wouldn't I want to follow the plan and visualize it the best way I can into something that is mine? Seeing my materials from metal sheets and enamel powders turning into something beautiful and wearable, I guess that's why I enjoy planning and have clear strategies when I do my work. I have this tension with myself while working, which sometimes makes me uncomfortable, but it does push me to where I want to be. I spend a lot of time checking the pieces that I already made in the process. I sometimes spend more time checking the pieces if there's a mistake more than the time that I spend on actually making, I think. Silversmithing and jewelry making is a job that takes a lot of patience. And usually once you make a mistake, you will spend more time fixing it. That's why I like taking my time before the mistake actually happens. The tension that I have with myself also comes with the experience. My background is in design, which led me focus more on finding solutions, while contemporary jewelries actually focus more on experiments and open questions. I was worried if I would bring this control freak tension to my pieces, even the viewers can feel it. One exhibition called The Unexpected Pleasures, which highlighted the evolution of contemporary jewelries over the past 60 years. It showcased how contemporary jewelries also served as a medium for artistic expression, pushing beyond traditional boundaries to explore new materials and forms. It emphasized the intimate connection between jewelry and the body, as well as the importance of the viewer's personal interpretation of the pieces.
Proud project.
Since I see my works as wearable art pieces, I also see the process as a bodily experience with my work. Jewelry makers rely a lot on their tools, and I see the tools, in a way, as an extension of our bodies. I was a bit bitter when I didn't have the collaboration with the painter. In the very beginning, I took her painting board to cut this tool for my jewelry making. Enameling is my way to paint on metal sheets to add the colors. Enameling is a tricky material, but what can I say? I just love finding troubles and dealing with them. This is a part where I cannot take full control. Maybe an enamelist with decades of experience can do that, but not me. Each time, due to the temperature, the size of the metal sheets, it can have different results. But that is because of its difference. It makes each piece unique. And that is the not knowing part that I'm embracing. I'm not sure if I've ever tried of other ways of working, because I'm sure at this stage, the painter would start panicking and the chef would just embrace the mistakes. But I am repolishing the enamel so I can fire it up again. There seems to be blocks among us. I'm so stuck in my own zone, my own way of doing things. Even though I'm doing it uncomfortably, I wouldn't change. It is strange that even though as a jewelry designer this is my way of painting, I still cannot find the connection between me and painter. Let alone the chef's chill way of dealing with mistakes. Well, at the end of the day, I still want perfection. After all. 这是我自己发的豆芽，我也是最近开始迷恋上了自己种菜。我是土生土长的大都市人，而且是市中心都市人，但是我觉得我是阳台农民。现在城里喜欢种东西的人就这样称呼自己。
This is way too small. Actually, I'm just gonna use a pot.
虽然我也没有阳台吧，而且这儿就算有个阳台也没有太多阳光，不过还是有适合种的东西。These are the 自己种植，除了照顾芽苗生长之外，还要后期处理它。超市里买来的东西虽然是很快很方便，但是我很喜欢自己花时间种植自己食物的感觉。
Satisfying job.
我是不愿意和自己的材料脱节的。作为厨师，我觉得新鲜食物的原材料是非常重要的事情。而且如果是自家种植的话，就更加不一样了。
我真的已经尝试了所有的可能把那个皮弄干净了，不过没关系，人生就是不完美的嘛。
我很容易感到自豪，就算只是种出了小小的豆芽，但是我也会自己一个人待着欣赏很久。
豆花煮牛肉，首先我们准备牛里脊400克，放入盆中，加入适量的清水，将牛肉清洗干净，沥干水分，然后再装入盘中垫底，然后我们把锅烧热，让豆花。
我喜欢看别人做菜的视频，尤其是一些传统的川式厨师，但是我并不会完完全全跟着他们的菜谱来。我好像从刚会做饭开始就不是特别喜欢跟着菜谱做菜，我喜欢看，会对里面的用料和做饭的方式有一个大概的记忆，然后凭借自己的感觉做，不会那么一板一眼。OK。做饭就像是一场很搞笑的表演，每一次上台之前都会让自己保持心情非常的愉悦。
现在做法
OK。
对传统川菜的再创造也是一个艺术形式，我觉得现在的艺术就很好，我们有很多的历史可以站在巨人肩上，而且更加自由，对不一样的东西接受也更多，虽然同时也在面对更多尖锐的问题，但总的来说，我对吃饭和做饭有无限的创作热情。
没事 ，it's okay，it's okay。要的就是
中国的画家好像也这样。以前中国山水画就是不讲究写生的，画家们一般都是去游山玩水，感受一番之后，回家关在房间里再画画。画的东西并不是他们直观所看到的，而是他们感受到的，又留在心中的样子。我觉得这就是我做饭的方式吧。
我哪知道他用啥腌了肉？刚看的东西完全没有进到脑子里。
哦，你看的真的是你打算要做的，我以为你只是随便找了一个。
其实也没有太大的关系，只能说它有一些许联系吧。
过于谨慎了，到老者。
料，
好看，我去，
没事儿，要的就是这种 freestyle， 可以了。不过就再整点儿，水多了加面，面多了加水嘛，这不是？咱们要的川菜讲究的一个精髓就是适量哦，这是意大利手势，适量。是有没有四川手势啊？
四川手势是打麻将的手势。
我不会打麻将。OK，这个鸡胸肉多点这个没有问题，没有大问题。啊，整点儿，随意啊，不用那么讲究。哇，多了，没事儿。来油封一下。哇，有点多，没跟自己进行一个聊天，知道吧？弄小的法。先给它，好像有点泡沫挤多了，没事，泡沫挤多了加水，水多了。好，然后你拍个几秒，拍一个远远的我在切这个黄瓜。
你看他们说什么艺术和人的联系，艺术和人的交互，我觉得最直接、最真诚的交互就是吃。做饭和吃饭可以是两个非常基本的东西，那就是维持生命状态的一种行为。但你要往上了说，那绝对是艺术，当代艺术。
你又切树了。
哦，对，操！
因为携带的。
哇，太肥了。OK， 哎，还是缩了一下，没缩起来。咱就这个意思。哦 ，It's OK。哎，还是有点那个意思，是不是？这黄瓜看起来有分量有些。暴力就是解决问题的关键。
这个椒还在蒜上。
没事，这样更好。我再示范一次，当你剥不了蒜的时候，暴力。哎呀，暴力怎么没有成功？咋还有黄瓜呢？天哪，我一共就这么几根儿，这也太惨了！
哦天哪！有小小的滑稽，我的朋友。
没事儿，新葱嘛，这不在于量，这在于它虽然少，但是它很精华。不会少的都聚不上胶了吧 ？Screw this on myself. It's the thought that count. The thought. My homemade sauce. 完全就是在撒谎，明明就是放进去的，但是我不管。整点辣丝算了。 再多点。这一看就不是我自己种的，这是直的。哎，掉的。
放。
OK， 你再拍个圆圆。妙！少是少，这都是精华，你知道吗？就算人不能看个子，反正这都是，这未免太少，给它铺开一点，显得多一些。哦，这还有，这还有，太惨了。这能不好吃？
去创作就是去分享吧，我觉得创作的意义是分享。Okay, can everyone please turn on the camera and then we're gonna have our meeting. I'm here. Thank you. Now I'm gonna be tossing out some questions. I think I'm always in the backstage. I've been here since little, but never the main focus. I think it's the curiosity that makes me here, because I want to explore if I can develop as a painter with many of you. Well, I try my best to train myself to where I am now. I went to Art Academy for jewelry design, and then I got a job as a jewelry designer. But then I realized that I lack the knowledge of materials and the materiality applied in my jewelry, so I came to Netherlands to study further more about that. Well, I'm here for everyone's best. I think I relate to my background the most, and a good shelf is a portable hometown, I would say. I bring this sense of taste with along the journey. I think the jewelry designer has the courage that I always want. Also the power of action. She always seems to have everything figured out and planned. Well, I fake it till I make it. Are you faking now? Well, and the chef is always very chilled and relaxed. Nothing seems to bother her. Well, westernized Asian restaurants bother me. I think it's a good thing. Well, it's difficult for people to just accept completely different food culture. It's nice to have some space. It's nice to have some safe space in between. It's like, I think it's the same way in art. Like Xu Bing, his innovative use of Chinese characters and his exploration of languages and communication. In the book Letters to a Young Artist, he shared insights into his artistic process.
and the importance of cultural context in art. It's nice to have a safe space that you use ingredients from the background culture and then merge that to something new instead of just bringing it in. I think he emphasizes more on finding a way to offer something new that isn't already in the Western art world. He suggests artists' unique circumstances like struggles and limitations can be a source of creative inspiration. Well, that's why he meant the authentic part.
Well, he can mean both. Yet you think very differently.
Yeah, we're very different people, nothing alike. We haven't done anything like that before. I don't know if it's a good idea. We have different style and different approaches. It would be a total mess.
Is that always a mess? I've been thinking about Yayoi Kusama. She does paintings, sculptures, installations, and also performances. But everything is so her. She doesn't need to sign or say anything. Her works for me are a very prime example of how different forms of art can influence and enhance each other. Her forms are multiple, but the cohesive and immersive experiences are in the same direction.
We don't really work like that. We don't, but I think there's a lot we can learn from that. And also not artists who do multiple forms not all of them have very clearly similar style or the same starting point. We can take inspirations from each other and then build up on that. That's also another way of collaborating, I think. I'm thinking about Ai Weiwei, his work and the way his work with each other. His sculptures often inform his installations, which in return are documented through his photography and film. We're also making this documentary, so I looked deeper into that. His installation, Remembering, made from 9,000 students' backpack, commemorates the children who died in 2008 Sichuan earthquake, and is documented through various photographic and filmic means. I think he is a very good example that he takes inspirations from his own work and transform that into something else. Maybe that's also a way that we can work together. Our different materials and different forms can, in a way, collaborate. Oh, the personality themselves, like Kim Noble. She created paintings through her dissociative identity disorder. So she has this condition. She has over 20 distinct personality states, each with its own patterns of perceiving and interacting with the world, as they have their own name, history, and artistic style. So everything is completely different, and I think the way they work together is that they take turns in creating art, resulting in a very diverse body of work. But, yeah, okay. That sounds like individual works to me, only that at the end they have a group exhibition. She wrote a book called All of Me, How I Learned to Live with Many Personalities Sharing My Body. There's a sentence that I marked here. It didn't matter that so much of what they said made logical sense or that I couldn't find any more plausible alternatives. I didn't have multiple personalities, I just didn't. And that was that. And then one day, several years after our first meeting, I walked out of Professor Morton's room and thought, I think she was denying her many selves in the very beginning. But she learned to deal with all of them through art in different ways of painting.
We don't deny each other.
Yeah, we just don't care about each other. Completely ignoring each other. Before this documentary, none of us
thought about just sitting down and talking with each other. It already seemed natural that way. We don't have to force ourselves into become one single artist. If we just decide to do things differently, then we naturally grow and improve as a group, as a team. That's also a way of collaboration. It seems like the director is trying to separate us to study the parts and make a collage of a new one. She's like using totally different references to make one big realistic portrait. We need more poetic methods of creating this portrait. Asian Chinese painters' way of doing paintings, for example, they go observe and transforming what is left in memories into paintings, instead of directly painting what they see, like in Renaissance. That can be a little bit boring. They're not boring. Chinese painters don't directly translate, but there are hidden links between what they see, what they unconsciously choose to memorize, and what they paint. There's always part of the truth under the water. Not seen by people, but always interconnected. But the director is trying to suck out all the water to see what's underneath there. I'm telling you, I think the director is trying to study us in a very westernized way. I don't blame her. I mean, she's trying to finish her thesis in the Netherlands. Western art philosophers dissect and analyze art by breaking all the parts down. That's true. They break it down into constituent parts. Maybe that's what she's doing to us after all. I've read this book called The Meaning of Art by Herbert Read, and it talks about this analytical approach by breaking down artworks. Read often breaks down artworks into constituent elements to analyze how these parts work together to create meanings. He compares different art forms and style from classical to modern to illustrate how different approaches can achieve similar and communicative goals. Even though it's not directly from one artist and her or his different styles, but that's a way of analyzing it. This comparative analysis highlights the diversity and richness of artistic expression by breaking the parts down to do so. We are humans, so splitting us two apart and breaking down into pieces lost the meaning of being us. It's like yin and yang. It doesn't make sense if you just have one part of it. Like iceberg, underneath the water we are interconnected, but people cannot see it. Maybe we don't realize it ourselves. It's just there unconsciously. We are way more connected than separated than we thought. We're just trying to find a way to work together. I'm taking that as a yes that we're gonna all be participating in the graduation. All these works you're gonna put together as a team. I'm so proud that I put you all together. I basically unite you all so our many selves can work together. Don't take credits from
We figured it out ourselves.
You're the one who's trying to take us apart. Well, they still fight. What can I do? I see myself. I see many of them. They're on their own journey, but we are gonna write a shared adventure. There's a painter finding the broken definition of art through a language far away from the mother tongue. There's a jewelry designer learning to embrace the parts losing control and letting go. There's a chef trying to bring back the taste of home on the other half of the planet. I see myself, and I see one whole person. I break myself into pieces to try to fit in everywhere. Each fragment of me grows into a new whole. Cross-cultural life I live now nurtures them and shapes them in different ways. They seem separated above the earth, but the roots only go stronger together. They are my many selves. They are me.